Hello. The purpose of this short video is to explain how the evidence record for student evaluation is put together. Um, so we're going to take a tour, and hopefully this will answer many questions and explain how this evaluation methodology works for our students. So you will have at the top, of course, the course. In this case, there's an example here, but this could be any course. The student name will be here. And then we have a series of tasks on the left side, and these tasks are updated as the course progresses. So the tasks are very descriptive as to the activities that are taken into account for evaluation. And then what we have along this line is the following. We have levels of achievement. Uh, the Ontario Minister of Education has a document called Growing Success. And in that document, it delimits the way the evaluation is set up for grades 7 to 12. And the key criteria are this. They are set up by levels. So we have level 1, and I want you to please focus on the words, the descriptor. Level 1 is limited, level 2, some, level 3, considerable, and level 4, thorough. And this, of course, refers as perhaps a likely demonstration of understanding, demonstration of achievement. So if somebody's demonstrating considerable level of understanding, the level is 3. Related to these levels, there are a number ranges. So, for example, for level 1, the grades numerically, because we produce numerical grades, go from 50 to 59. And within that range, level 1 is the lowest level, 50 to 52. Level 1, oh, sorry, 1 minus, excuse me. Level 1 is in the middle, and level 1 plus, it's further up. Similarly, for level 2, that goes from 60 to 69, 2 minus, 2 plus. And for level 3, which is considerable understanding, same idea, level 3 minus, 3, and 3 plus. Something important for everybody to realize is that level 3 is considered provincial standard. So although sometimes we may feel that this can be improved, which you can, it is within provincial standard. And when we refer to this level, it's important that people realize that this is what it means. And then level 4, it's a bit unusual because it's a wider range, goes from 80 to 100. So 4 minus includes grades from 80 to 86, level 4, 87 to 94, and level 4 plus is 95 to 100. And I hope that explains as far as the levels go. So how do you read this report if this comes to you and involves your child or involves you as a student? Well, we're going to talk in a moment about these two items, conversations and observations. But before we do that, I'm going to just tell you the idea of how this evaluation works as far as understanding achievement. You will notice in this case, this example is already marked as it is, and you will notice first that there's highlighted items in yellow. The yellow means this is the first progress report, and the items indicate the achievement for a particular task. So, for example, if I look at this task that is called, it's a Desmos activity, and it's called Desmos Lego Prizes, this was evaluated by the completion of the task and 2 screens. More on that, the students can explain to you what a screen that means in Desmos, but it's a technology that we use often in class to create things, to evaluate things, to learn about things. So in this case, this task, the student is achieving at a level of 3 plus, but if you notice, the little star, the little asterisk is a bit more on the left. So if this was to translate into a grade, a numerical grade, it would be about a 77. So I hope that that is clear. What you will also see many times, not always, but many times, is you will see feedback related to these specific tasks. So in this case, the student is being given feedback that they can access in Desmos, and also they've been told that they are missing something in this activity. One important notice is this: many of these activities, the purpose of evaluation is to improve student achievement, amongst, of course, informing where the students are. So for many of these activities, the students have an opportunity to go, review, correct, and improve their evaluation. Uh, what we're after is them actually learning and understanding things. So this gives the student a bit of feedback. There will be tasks where that is not possible. For example, a quiz or a little test. We don't have any of these here, but in general, any of these per achievement levels can be improved if the student reviews the feedback. When these items are published and you get a copy of it, it means that the student already has had ample time in class to complete these assignments, these tasks. They have been given feedback in class. We have reviewed, clarified, etc. So by the time this is published, arguably everybody should be achieving at a very good level. It doesn't always happen, but that's important for people to realize that this is not this has already been assigned and supported and explained, etc. So that's the picture. So here, for example, you can see that there are some tasks like this one that the student has just not submitted. Uh, for whatever reason, this has not been submitted. The student is now being informed, and they are allowed. They're expected to submit it, because these means a level R, which I didn't mention before. A level R is below level 1. So, needless to say, this is um, unacceptable, and the I stands for insufficient information. So I really do not use zeros in grading, because zeros, in my mind, and in the context of our evaluation in growing success, really do not reflect that that student didn't do something. It just tells. Sometimes people use zeros as means to say that something hasn't been done. But when we put it as a grade, it means the student knows nothing. And that is not correct. That is not true. They always know a little something. But what these does, it tells you and tells a student, tells all of us, that this is insufficient. And that means that I do not have enough evidence from this activity, from this student, to evaluate and produce a level. So there is a danger, of course, that if this happens a lot, at the end of the course, the student may get an I, which is an evaluation that really doesn't give him a credit or not. Actually, it doesn't give him a credit, but it tells us that there's not enough evidence to produce an evaluation for this student. So the rest, you can see here that there's different levels of achievement, and this is a document that is flowing. So what will happen is this: when I update this document in my end, within 5 minutes, your student, if you, parents, whoever has access to this document, and of course, you only have access to your own student, to yourself if you're a student, to your child if you're a parent, then you will see an update. There is flexibility for students, of course, up to a certain point. There's a point where we need to produce grades, and then at that point, these becomes more firm. And I will look at the overall achievement of this student. Where is this student demonstrating achievement more consistently, and what tasks are significantly more important than others? And as a function of that, there will be a level here, a number, and a percent. That is what will go in the report card. Please note that these may not necessarily involve averages, because some of the assignments may be lengthier, some of the assignments may be different, because students improve with time. So that evaluation, that determination of a level with a percent and a number will come once opportunities have been given to the students to actually give it their best try. And the last item here is these two observations and conversations items. The document that I mentioned earlier, Growing Success, explains that we should include, for an evaluation to be full, a triangulation of information. In other words, we produce product, either tests, quizzes, projects, etc., but we should also include discussions, conversations we have with students, and observations we made of their work while we are with them. And in our case, of course, in this new world, I can make observations of their work online. So this rubric shows us the criteria that had been put together. And one important thing for everybody to know, the students know these, the parents don't know it, but these rubrics were built with the students. We went through an exercise together to determine what items are worth including into these observation and conversation categories that the students felt were fair, that would represent, would be meaningful. So these is the categories that this class came with. Not all classes have the same categories because the students see things differently. And it's important that if they have a voice in how they're being evaluated, they will probably take greater responsibility. So in this specific case, this class agreed that conversations that they have with the teacher should involve demonstrating a level of understanding, that they should ask questions when they need help, and that they are engaged in the conversation. Similarly, for observations, they agreed that it's important for a student to be on task, when they are given feedback by the teacher, to respond to that feedback, and how they are collaborating with one another. So these small rubrics are very important because the effect of these rubrics throughout the course is translated here. So for example, for these reports so far, in the case of this student, we can think that they are demonstrating a considerable level of understanding, level 3 plus for demonstration of understanding, and they are usually there. You can see they are level 4 of being on task, which is obviously very positive, very good. These will be populated gradually, and we focus on one item per report cycle. So this is the evidence record. The main idea, of course, is that it fosters conversations. It gives students opportunities to catch up. And very, very importantly, this document is live. When a student makes a change, when I add a new task, this is updated for you within 5 minutes. So we all have the same information anytime. So as much as we love talking to students and parents as to how the students are doing, now you have this evidence record that is updated regularly, and it allows you to see how everybody's doing. If you're a student, you can see that, for example, if you acted upon some of these feedback, you should see these move, right? Hopefully, or not if you didn't respond to the feedback. So I hope this clarifies it. This is Mr. Garcia from Pine Ridge Secondary School, and I hope this makes it clear for everybody involved in how the evidence record works. But of course, I'm open for you to ask me any questions if you have. So you can reach me via email. If you're a student, of course, you can always talk in class. Thank you.